as far as crude oil markets are kind of concerned, there is no, or there is kind of actually nothing called as a gap. So whatever you're kind of actually seeing out as gap over here in the commodities markets is because of the fact that our markets were closed at that point of time. So please, it is kind of so premature to call gaps in commodities markets. Okay. See, when we kind of talk about a gap up in Nifty, Bank Nifty, and all, it makes sense because that is actually a gap. But then in something like a gold, in something like an international asset, there is no gaps. So it is just the fact that our markets were closed at that point of time. That's just a 2 hours difference, man. So don't call it. Yeah, okay. You're talking about the US oil. Okay, fine. It makes sense. But more or less, yeah, just a 2 hours gap, not much of a gap. Yeah, I agree. Like some sort of a small differences there. I understand that. Sorry, I was kind of thinking you were referring this to the Indian market. So this is what you're kind of talking about, right? So that is where that could be where the next resistance could be also. Okay, that could be where the price could actually face the next resistance. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so if Indian markets didn't close that point of time, crude would have actually reached somewhere over here. And let's see how this goes. So my perspective is still bullish. So right now the trade is kind of almost at my entry. Okay. So let's actually see how it goes. So once again, these are the mark levels, entry level and the stop loss level. So as far as the stop loss is kind of concerned, it's kind of more or less pretty decent. And yeah, so we probably could have seen this together if we connected exactly at 7:30. So now what I'm doing is I'm kind of actually just giving you a chance to unmute yourself. So you can just unmute yourself and ask questions. Okay. You can feel free to unmute yourself and then ask questions. So shoot out your questions by unmuting yourself. Okay. So you could do that. So you can speak up. So if you have any doubts, please speak up. And yesterday night, I got some questions like why were we trading on the July contract when the June contract was there? The answer is pretty simple. Yesterday was the expiry day, so we didn't want to trade on it. And not all brokers, but some brokers, they don't allow you to trade on the expiry contract that particular day. So today, if there is an expiry, they won't let you trade on it. Okay, so that thing is also there. Okay.
Sir?
Yeah, hi.
Sir, I
Hello.
have a suggestion.
Yeah, please.
Hello?
Yeah, please, Shiva.
Sir, I have been watching your videos in tutorial classes in which your the classes are recording of the sessions.
Okay.
Instead of that,
Mhm.
if you do it in a separate thing,
Yeah, sure. Actually, I have started doing that. Okay. So,
it will be
in
very
fact,
easy to
yeah,
in the
this
middle of the thing someone is asking question.
question in diverts. Yes, I totally
It
get that
is
point. We
we
have
couldn't.
already started doing that, man. We have already started doing that.
Okay, okay. Sorry,
In
sir.
fact, like, no problem, no problem. It's a very good suggestion. It's a very valid suggestion. Why?
Okay, sir.
Because like there could be questions that is kind of coming up in between, and like one could actually be diverted from the attention. So yeah,
We
yeah,
can't understand what question also they asked.
yeah. Out
So,
question would be out of topic also, right?
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it was.
No problem. We have kind of already started working on some video series, and hereafter, like what we are going to do is, see, as soon as I get my SEBI RA license, right? So
Okay, sir. Okay.
once I get the SEBI RA license, then most probably like I'll kind of stop conducting these sessions. As
Okay.
in like I would no longer be kind of conducting the classes. Rather, it would be just dive trade sessions that I'm going to conduct, and so everything else is going to be more or less recorded. And weekly once there would be a doubt clearance session, something like that, because
Okay.
we would kind of be getting more aggressive on the advisory side once the licensing is there. So
Okay, sir.
we have already started working on this thing, like the content,
Okay.
as you mentioned. That's only a
Yes, sir.
one-time effort also. Like I don't have
Yes, sir. It's one time effort, and everyone can easily
yeah,
today
yeah,
watch
the
gap up
topic,
theory. We will
yeah,
discuss on that. Means it
sure.
will be very easy.
Sure, man.
Uh,
Just give in another 1 week. Actually, the new video series would be out. Okay, so
okay,
in the
okay,
coming 1 week time, the video series would be out. So we have got
okay.
this feedback earlier also. Honestly
I,
speaking, honestly speaking, we are not any course provider. Okay, so because of that,
I also have one
yeah,
more doubt, sir.
yeah, sure, please ask.
Uh, while we are drawing lines in resistance and support,
Okay.
we look for two lines to connect in the bottom of the line for support, and that is the way we are drawing, or
Yeah.
how we are drawing, sir.
See, it's pretty
Actually,
simple. Like the more number of times the level gets tested, we call the more
it's a
validated the level becomes. So we call that as a support or resistance. So it's pretty simple. Like in this particular case, we were actually. I'll take out the chart of crude oil itself. You have a look over here.
in 5 minutes chart, more lines it is drawing. But in time,
Huh?
in the longer frame, it is easy. I think so.
Yeah, so that always start off from the larger time frame. So whenever you're marking levels, you kind of always start off from the larger time frame, then you get down into the shorter time frame. Okay.
Okay.
So this will actually help you. So else what happens is you'll see too many lines. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for example, like this is a 15 minutes time frame. So we were kind of actually seeing that okay, this is a pretty good level. So this level was being monitored yesterday also. Okay.
Oh,
So this is a pretty good level that we see. Okay, this is kind of actually a pretty good level we see. So I was expecting the price to kind of test over here, then pick up, but then like this happened pretty fast. Okay,
okay.
so we know this is a level. Now this is definitely a resistance level. You also know. So we took a buy order based upon a breakout of this today,
This.
right?
Okay.
So same way,
Okay.
yeah. So we kind of considered this as a level. So we took a buy over here. And the reason we kept our stop over here is because of the fact that we consider this to be a level. So if the price manages to drop below this, we understand, okay, our view goes down. That's it.
If
Okay.
we cut the support level, we have to exit, or we have to wait for that 15 minutes or 1 hour bar to close below the support level, sir.
1 hour bar, you wait to close, then maybe you lose some 50
There will
points.
be more.
50, 60
Okay.
points you lose. Okay.
Okay.
So I personally would keep the stop loss. So if the price drops below that itself, stop loss would be taken out.
Stop us. Okay.
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 So that
Yeah,
is
Hari.
the scenario. Yeah, hi, hi.
Yeah, hi, Hari. Loving this side. So, Hari, I have started my Demat account with Motilal Oswal because I wanted to do crude trading with that margin trade, as you told, the
Okay.
12K margin, right? But
Yeah.
I need some suggestion, like if I'm trading with that 12K margin, so how, what should be my risk?
See, as I mentioned to you, 12K, you can trade one lot. Okay.
Like,
You can actually trade one lot with a 12K capital.
hmm.
But then, like, see, uh, I personally keep around 1.5 lakh per lot.
Okay. No,
Okay.
like I'm asking, like
Yeah.
if I'm trading with the margin, and in crude, what happens is it goes too fast,
Yeah.
go
It doesn't
down too
go
fast,
quick.
and go up too fast. So, like if my views go wrong, and if it's going in the wrong direction,
Mhm.
so that time will the Motilal Oswal will they square off my position by their own?
Yeah, they will do. But you should keep a stop loss, man. Always keep a stop loss.
No, yeah, that I'll do.
Well, Motilal Oswal will square off your position only when your loss is actually more than what you have in your demat.
Okay, okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
The Motilal Oswal won't square off your position when you're taking a 2000 rupee loss or 3000. When you're, let's say you're
Mhm.
putting 12,000 in your account and you're trading one lot, you take a loss of around 10,000 rupees. Your broker would give you a square off. Your broker would give you a margin call, and he would square off your position.
Okay, okay. And Hari, one more thing. I guess I have missed some sessions, so that I don't know how to trade on silver and gold. If you can tell me the benchmarks, like if you are trading on crude
Silver and
commodity.
gold, man, like it's pretty simple. So you can see XAU USD, XAG USD. Okay.
No, like in crude, we are looking for crude July futures. So in like yesterday, you told something
You
about
can trade.
silver.
You can either trade the gold mini futures if your capital is lesser. You can trade the gold major contract if your capital is bigger. You can see with the broker like how much margin they charge. Okay. So
I guess Motilal Oswal is also providing the margin for gold and silver trading.
see, it is
Right?
not It is not only for crude or
cover
specifically,
for
it is
all
for
commodities.
everything. It is for all.
Yeah. So for gold, it's gold mini future, right?
Yeah.
And for silver, it's silver mini and major.
Gold also mini is there.
Okay. Okay. And how much margin we need for this trade?
I'm not exactly sure how much is the margin utilized. I'm not really sure. Like we'll have to check.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
whenever you will get free, if you can.
I'll tell you now itself. Just hold
Yeah.
on.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do you find the symbol of nickel? Just search for nickel, man, straight away. Can you repeat the trade price? Okay, so the buy was over here at 5455 and stop loss is over here 5426. Can we put stop loss below the red candle? This red candle will be too tight a stop. That will be too less of a stop loss. Too tight a stop loss. Okay. How do you find the? Just search for it. USD versus nickel? No, I didn't find. Sorry, I didn't do that. But I have shared it somewhere on Discord. I'll have to just go through it. Okay. Now I guess guys, like there is nothing much to do. So until and unless I get something like a 30-40 point move, there is nothing actually going to be done. Now my plan out over here, I'll tell you my plan. So you see that this is my risk. Okay. So this is the risk that is kind of actually associated with the trade. That is kind of like a 20 point. Right. So now, sorry, that's kind of like a 30 point. Right. So now basically what happens out over here is, as long as you don't get a 30 point, okay, so as long as you don't get a 30 point, the trade is kind of not so good. But if you have kind of gained back, okay, at least what you're risking, you're capable of gaining back, fine. So what I'm thinking about doing is, so what I'm personally planning out is, so if the price is actually capable of sustaining or above this, so that is not a 30 point, but still if the price is capable of sustaining above this, I will actually consider bringing my stop towards my entry. So that just like yesterday also we had made our trade risk free. I guess you remember that, right? So same way here also, my I would actually be focusing on making the trade risk free, so that we kind of actually have some sort of a peace of mind, and then whatever move happens, yeah, will be comfortably be able to write. Okay, so let's see how it goes. So as I mentioned, I'll think about trailing my stop above my cost if the price reaches 5475, and then I'll think about holding on to the trade. Okay, if the price reaches 5475, I'll think about trailing that trade towards the cost, that is towards my entry itself. So that is the plan that I have. So let's see how this goes. I guess you people had some takeaways from today's meeting so far, and we'll catch, because this might take some time. So there is no point in sitting in front of the screen right now. So you guys can continue your work. So I also have some work happening. So after that, we can actually get back. So as I mentioned, this trade would be amazing if it is capable of giving anything more than a 40-50 point move. And our game or our plan would be to ride as much as possible. Okay. So as soon as the price gives a closing, or as soon as the price manages to give a sustained momentum above this, or it's able to close above this, okay, so we would kind of actually think about modifying our stop towards the entry. Okay, 23% capital loss in crude, 23% cap loss having get you decide. So Ayush, as I mentioned, I will think about railing my stop. The price is capable of sustaining above 5475. Okay. So I'll show you the chart of US oil too. Just have a look over here, the larger time frame. So US oil is actually approaching. So today, the resistance that could probably hold out over here is going to be yesterday's high. Okay. So this level would more or less coincide with the 5475 marks. Okay. So I guess now it makes much more sense for you. So this is yesterday's high level. So right now crude is over here, US oil. Okay. Yesterday's high level is actually out over here. So this level more or less will coincide with the 5475. So if crude is capable of just picking up above this, think about trailing my stop towards the cost. Okay. So let's see how it goes. So yes, guys, we'll connect after some time, because I think it's going to take some time. So there is more or less no point in sitting like this. So we'll actually see what happens, and then we'll once again catch up to discuss the results. Okay.
Hari, Naveen here.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Please.
Actually, I'm not able to access a Live Learn Wealth URL from last 2 days. Is there any issue in that URL or in the
There's
site?
no issue in the URL. Just send me a WhatsApp message. To the end of the day, it'll be resolved. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. So let's catch up after some time. Let's take a quick break and let's catch up after some time, and we'll see what happens. Okay.